Okay, we are back, and I am going to keep on editing this banner. We're going to try to get this banner up. The last video I finished the header, and this video we're going to try to finish the banner. Um, I don't think the sound quality was the best in those past videos, but whatever, I just need to keep going. I'm not going to remake the videos. Uh, let's get going on this. So as I said before, the HTML currently used in the live site's not that good. Banner. I have an image, a background image, so let's get Jekyll Serve back up. We already have Jekyll Serve. Let's open up a new tab, 127. No, that's not it, 127. There we go, that's what we want. So we have the banner, we have ASDF in the banner, some test content. Now we need the actual content of the site. So I'm just going to copy this copy that is already here and try not to copy the styles and just doing it by eye. I'm pretty sure it's an H2. It should be an H1 actually, to tell you the truth. And thank you, Adam, for not updating both tags for me. I know PHP Storm does that. And then there's probably like a div, I don't know, class equals banner, I don't know, content or something, or body. You can call it banner underscore body. Copy all this stuff, and it's not letting me because of my picture. There we go. What else? All right, and then we could probably put banner title here, class equals banner title. And let's see what that looks like. Right, so the reason that it's not stretching is because I have a manual, just in order to see the background, I put a manual width and height. I'm going to take those off, and now we shouldn't be using a lot of max widths and things because it doesn't like update, the, we're going to use padding now. It doesn't like keep the content constraints, so content can't control things when you're setting max widths and heights and things. We're going to put like a 3 rem here. No, let's do like a 6 rem. This is not going to be good for mobile. So already we're getting pretty, we gotta do it the other way around. We're getting pretty constrained here by not having Sass in our project, because without Sass we really can't. We can do some breakpoint stuff. I'll do some breakpoint stuff. Media. You know what's really embarrassing is that because I use Sass so much for breakpoints, I don't know how to do media queries by the top of my head, and I've been doing doing media queries for probably like 6-7 years now. I mean, since they came out, and I still don't know how to do them without. I know they have a screen. I wish I really knew what to do, but I'm just going to use, I know that one of them has a screen, I'll just use the most basic. With media queries in plain old CSS, you need to re-say everything. We're going to do mobile first, like re-declare things, like re-declare the actual class. If you're using Sass, it will spit it out for you, which is a lot more useful. We know that we don't want that padding on, so now let's look at smaller screens. So it only adds the padding at, what, 700 pixels? That's okay for now. Let's do color white. All right, that looks better. But we need to have one padding, 1 rem by default. There we go. Now this just gets wider and wider. We also need to have some sort of max width on. Let's just do a max. Well, we can't do a max width on the banner because of the background. So we actually need. We could do one of two things. We could put max widths in order to save that. You really shouldn't do things like this. You should probably have a wrapper div wrapped around both of them. But I'm going to put banner title. Max width say 800 pixels. We probably should. Now we're needing variables and stuff. I mean, now it's getting to the point where Sass is just really handy. I still don't have it in the project. I wanted to show you guys how to do that. I think we call it content. Now we're doing this twice. We're doubling up. If we wrapped a div around both of these elements, we wouldn't have to do this. Now we need margin auto. Now it's getting to the point with that just using what am I doing? We're getting a lot of code duplication here. So this is, I mean, with basic CSS, that looks better, but with basic CSS, we really just need a div wrapped around all of it. So you could say banner inner. That's one way you can do it. Or wrapper or something, but I'll call it inner. Let's say, I'll call it max. I like that word max because it's kind of like tells you that there's a max width on it. And now I can just change this to banner max, and I can totally delete this. So it saves us some CSS, right? And looks better. I know that on the live site that there's some text-align center happening, so let's add that. We could actually add that on a higher, you know, or we can put it on the max. Either way, it doesn't really matter. And now I know that the font size inside of the we still need to do something for banner content. Font size is what? 1 rem. Let's say 1.2 rem. There we go. And now we want a background. The reason I want to put a background is for accessibility. I still want background color. I'm just going to copy it because I'm not trying not to copy too many things, but this is something I can easily copy, like a color. I know we're using, this is a red, green, blue alpha sort of setup. So it's red, green. RGBA is red, green, blue alpha. So this is just a number of like the orange, and then we're having a 0.6 alpha, and that's going to sit on top of. Oh, we don't want it around all the content. We don't want banner max. We just want this wrapped around the content. So somebody probably saw me doing that, making a mistake, but I fixed it. So everything's happy. 1 rem. All right. So this is looking a lot closer to what the live site looks like. I know that this thing is not sans-serif, so let's go get our. So we added Google Fonts in the last video. If you're interested in how we do that, let's. I have sans-serif on the whole HTML now. I'm going to add. What am I doing? Okay. On the actual title itself, we're going to add this Merriweather, but we're not going to use serif. We're going to use just sans. We're going to use a serif font. Serif basically means, like, for anybody learning about design or anything, it's like the extent of my design, my, you know, tertiary design knowledge, if that is a word and if that exists and if that's the right meaning, which is not. Serif is the only thing I know like about actual design, and that means that like there's little ticks on the letters. But whatever. So here's your there's little lines on the letters, and then on these ones there's no lines in the letters. And you usually use these for titles, but some people do it the exact opposite. They'll use sans-serif for titles. I've seen that happen before in certain situations. Font pairing and everything, it's not really a science. It's very subjective. It's more of an art form. I think the max width is a little bit too wide. Let's use something more consistent. 700. There we go. That's about right. Let's see what this is. Yeah. And then the font is a lot bigger here. Let's say font size on the actual title. It's just getting, right now it's getting the font size of what, and we could use that. I mean, it doesn't look too bad, to tell you the truth. I like it bigger, but I like not using too much extra CSS as well. So let's just leave it. And if I think it looks too small, I can change it later. Font size, but we're going to make the content a little bit bigger. Let's just make it some, there we go. And that looks good. I think it looks looks good, and our background image is probably bigger than it needs to be, but that's okay for now. I think this is a good place to call the header finished. Not just using what the browser recommends for the H1 is a nice thing to do. It looks like I have a dot at the end. I'm using a dot there. Looks good. Everything looks pretty good to me. Actually, it looks better than something. Looks better than the live site, I think. Now, it's probably needs some spacing in the header and stuff. All this stuff can be done later, but for the most part, that's done. Now, I want to get into. We have 10 minutes. I've done the header. We're at 10 minutes and 30 seconds. I got about 4.5 minutes left. What should I work on next? We got these things here. You know, I could just do the footer real quick. That would be, let me make this smaller. Whoa. I could do the footer real quick. This footer is pretty straightforward. I could probably do that in 4 minutes. That way I don't have to do it in another video. Let's just throw the footer in there. Footer, we're going to use Emmet to create a little div. We'll throw this in. These are just, I'm going to wrap these in divs so Flexbox can take care of them. And I can do a space between style thing. You know, one thing, now that I'm thinking, one thing I didn't do is this is probably, we'll see what happens. Let's see what this looks like. One thing I didn't do is, like, I didn't even check what my mobile looks like for these things. I mean, it looks pretty bad on 320 displays, but I'm going to have to go back up and fix that. Maybe I can do that in the same. I'm just going to keep this footer here for now. I have the divs now. I'm going to fix this header because that's a more important thing, I think, for me to do, because it's really not complete until it's done on mobile. And if I were to send that to myself for a pull request, I wouldn't be very happy with myself. So let's just add a breakpoint for the header. There we go. Let's copy these media queries, because remember, I don't know how to write them still. And then header, it changes to header. And then we are going to what we're going to do is we're just going to turn Flexbox on larger screens. And that, let's see what that does. That's better. See, now it looks much better. We're going to do text-align center. I doubt, we'll see what this does. Yeah. I mean, that looks, I mean, it's not the best, but it looks, what does the current site look like? I don't even know. It looks very similar. I mean, it's just pretty similar. I think the live site's a little bit more centered. I don't really like how the live site looks right now, but we can fix that. I think that what I did makes it, you know, MVP. Mine has a little bit more padding. Put a little bit of padding around the logo, maybe. I might even get away with putting padding around the header in general. Yeah, okay. Okay, the body's got, now we notice that the body's got a weird padding on it too. So let's go up to HTML. I think this is actually in the body, not I don't think the HTML has anything by default. We're going to say padding. And if I had Normalize in here, that would fix this. Padding, margin. I wonder if I can get Normalize in the end of this video really quick. Normalize CSS. I got a minute to get Normalize in. Download. I could just npm install it too, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to get Normalize in. Now I can get rid of this altogether, and then I'm going to assets, CSS, new file, normalize.css, paste this in, and I'm going to go to layouts, default, Command-Shift-D, normalize. Save, and then let's go back and see if my padding is gone by itself. Yes, that worked. Great, that was really fast. So we got Normalize in. We have the beginnings of a footer. Next episode is going to be great because we're going to show you how forestry can be used to edit this content that's in the banner. All right, great. Thank you for watching. 3, 2, 1, time's up.